Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to another episode of What's on the Playlist Today. And I'd like to talk to you today about John Prine, his self-titled debut album, an image of which you will see right here. Uh, John Prine uh, is a folk musician, born 1946, got his start in the 60s. He is known for his songs, both his wry humor and his songs that are more serious and melancholy. Um, I don't think he's as well known outside the folk community by the common people, stuff like that. John Prine's known more, I think, as what a musician's musician. A lot of artists have cited him as an inspiration, as a favorite performer. I've seen him perform live. He puts on a great show. He really does. Uh, for a to give you an idea of what kind of a musician he is, he's a lot like Bob Dylan in that he's a competent guitar player, not great, but competent. Couldn't sing his way out of a paper bag. He's got a crappy singing voice, but he's a consummate storyteller. Like I said, he's not as well known, I don't think, by the common man, I guess you'd say. But a lot of musicians really liked John Prine's music. His songs have been covered by John Prine, Carly Simon, Bonnie Raitt, John Fogerty, a lot of other people. Other people have performed his works. Uh, some of what his songs I actually knew from other people. For example, Angel of Montgomery, I'd first heard performed by Bonnie Raitt. I didn't even know someone else wrote it. Johnny Cash covered Paradise. So for a debut album, this is a solid piece of work. Um, I've got several of John Prine's albums, but this one's still just, there's not a bad song on this album. I mean, I realize not everyone likes folk music, um, but I mean, just to give you an example of what he's got on here. Um, the song "Illegal Smile" is about getting high and smoking pot. "Hello in There" is a song about basically it's a tribute to the elderly and about the old people who are forgotten by their children, by society. People would, you know, sit there and stare out the back door window, no one to talk to. It's a tribute to them. Sam Stone, very next song in the album after that one, is about a returning Vietnam veteran who got addicted to morphine because he was injured. It's a song on dedicating and honoring about all those people who came home, you know, fractured by the war, not just addicted to heroin because of their injuries, but you know, the shell shock, what we now call post-traumatic stress disorder. Um, People who are traumatized by the events that they witnessed. Next song is "Paradise," which I mentioned was covered by Johnny Cash, which is John Prine wrote as a tribute to his father about the towns that they grew up in Kentucky that were devastated by strip mining coal. Um, the coal company came with the world's largest shovel, and they tortured the timber and stripped all the land. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, just 5 miles away from wherever I am. So, it's a paradise. Your flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore. Another post-war song. This one is, again, this one's more humorous, but it's a critique of the false patriotism of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. All those people who wave their flags back here while they're, you know, sons and daughters were overseas fighting in Korea and Vietnam. All the people who stomped their feet and waved their flags. What else we got? Angel from Montgomery, I don't know what that song's about, but like I said, I heard it first from Bonnie Raitt. But these songs all mean something, which is something I don't think I've discussed in any of the other albums I've talked about. And what's more is the meaning is actually very easy to see. You know, I've been listening to music my whole life. As long as I can remember, I've listened to music and sung along with the records. As long as I could keep singing, I did. But a lot of times the meaning is obscured. Even love songs, you know, things I didn't understand until years later. But John Prine's message is always very clear. And it's his sense of humor and his ability to talk about life and the good and the bad, the stuff that makes you laugh, the stuff that makes you, you know, cry, the stuff that breaks your heart, and the stuff that hurts. And it's, you know, this is, John Prine's dead now. Like I said, he started recording in the 1960s, and he talked about making this album. Like, he was a guy, you know, writing songs in his head, delivering mail, and singing in coffee shops and stuff. And all of a sudden, he's in a studio with Elvis Presley's backup band making a record. He's like, what the hell am I doing here? So this is old stuff, and John Prine has passed away a few years ago. He survived cancer, kept singing, kept telling stories, kept people smiling. And I don't know, I guess it means more to me than I thought it did when I sat down initially. But I don't know if you like folk music, but if you've never heard John Prine, this is probably one of his best albums. And he kept making albums for decades. He's probably got over a dozen records to his name, if not more than that. I didn't bother to look before I sat down to record this. But yeah, even if you don't like folk music, just to listen to him for his stories, for the stuff that he talks about. And even though some of it might not be as relevant today, I mean, you know, Vietnam and Korea are long over. But there's still crap happening. There's still war in the world. You know, as I write this, Hamas and Israel are going at it again. One more time. Once more on the block. Got to give this album, you know, sometimes I feel stupid rating these things, I guess. Especially albums, because music is so subjective. Or objective, or who the hell knows. You like what you like. But this is a solid piece of music, you know, from start to finish. There's not a bad song on here. And I would recommend you listen to it, just for the sake of a piece of music history that a lot of other artists love. As always, thanks for watching. As always, if you like my videos, why? These are so badly written. They're not written. I don't write scripts. And I don't edit things. So why would you like this? But give my other stuff a look if you find this mildly amusing or entertaining. And until next time, good hunting.